We are live. Good morning, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. We are live. Oh. Good morning, everybody. I can hear me and see me. All right. Double check we're on everywhere. Looks good. All right, who do I have with me this morning? We have a special day planned today. Came to my, it popped into my head the other day that we talk so much on this channel about, more views, more subscribers, big success, all of that. We don't talk about the realities of it sometimes, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Good morning, Facebook user. Is that Elaine, maybe? For any of you guys that watch on Facebook, if you want your name to come up, I think StreamYard will ask you, like something pops up on Facebook saying, are you okay if your name is shared in the stream? So if you want to be not anonymous, that's basically what you do. Something should come up there. But so for anybody here for the first time, this is the Fitness Marketing Hub live stream. We go live every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And basically, it is a chance for you to ask questions about your channel. We tend to focus, obviously, primarily on health and fitness channels, how to grow them, how to run them like a business, and how to actually get them monetized and somewhat lucrative for you. So every once in a while, we try and kind of theme the live streams to focus on a certain topic. Otherwise, we go down many different rabbit holes, and sometimes it just seems like a free-for-all. So I'm going to try and actually add a few additional little themes to these shows to see if we can kind of zone in on certain pain points that you guys are having. If you guys ever have an idea for it, drop it in the comments. I'm always open to talking about whatever. So good morning, Budo Pilates, and good morning, Kinetics with Caitlin. Hope you guys are doing well this morning. Gotta get my coffee into me. I'm torn because before these episodes start, I always want to pound like a couple of cups of coffee, so I'm like on fire when it starts up. But then the problem is about 45 minutes in, I'm going to have to pee, and then I'm going to have to take a break or something. So it's that first world problems, is that what they call it? Good morning, Sharon. Sharon, I caught a little bit of your live stream this morning. I was working last night, so I didn't catch it, but it looked really good. Looks like you had a good turnout for it. Hopefully that'll be a regular thing you can start to do. So congratulations. If you guys have not checked out Sharon's live stream, pop over to her channel. It's actually a Q&A session. I think those are great things to add to your channels. I don't think it's too far out of, I'm always hyper-focused on niching down, but I think something like that is, it requires, audience participation. If people don't want to watch it, they won't watch it. I mean, usually live streams, once they've happened, they don't tend to do a whole lot after the fact. So, I mean, it's in the moment. People can participate or they can just skip it. But it's a great way for your audience to get to know you a little bit and ask questions they may have and help develop that community. I mean, I think the live stream for this channel has probably helped the channel tremendously as far as getting to know my community a little bit more other than just presenting videos to a faceless audience. So guys, we'll get right into it here. First and foremost, you guys can ask questions at any time. If you have ideas what I really want to do is, I don't want to discourage anybody from trying to grow a YouTube channel. The focus of this channel, my channel, is not to encourage people to grow a YouTube audience for nothing. It's to try and turn your efforts on YouTube into a monetizable business. I'm sure there's people out there that don't care about that, or at least they will say that. But I think deep down, most of us would like to have some payback for the amount of effort that goes into it. But what you see happening a lot is people who, their efforts are not being focused in the right places, and therefore they get frustrated. They start spinning their wheels because what they are doing doesn't work. And this is everything from like for likes, and you watch mine, I'll watch yours, and all that kind of stuff. Cross promotion on social media. It's all stuff that we've actually talked about in the past, but we've never really deep dove into it. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into some of these things today and basically discuss what the end result is of all these little myths, I guess you could say, about YouTube. Body by Paradise, good morning. Senior Shape Fitness, good morning. Kay's Pilates, good morning. I got to check my comments more often. Good to see all you guys. Wow, we get 10 people signed in early today. Everybody wants to know what side they're on. So, first and foremost, I'd like to know, are any of you guys doing anything right now? What are you guys doing to grow your channels? If you guys can pop something into the comments, let me know. I want to know what people are doing to grow their channels. Obviously we're all trying to produce the best content possible, but secondary to that, what are people doing? Body by Paradise, I just started. And again, guys, when we're talking about monetizing and things today, it starts from day one. So it matters to all of us. But let me know what some of you guys are doing. I know what some of you guys are doing, but I want to hear people say it. If not, I'll just say it. Guess I'm going to be just saying it. Oh, there we go. Caitlin stepped up. I post in niche relative Facebook groups, business groups. Most of my views come from Facebook right now. That's not bad, Caitlin. The only thing I would say with that is to be obviously watching the average view duration, because I've talked quite a bit in the past about crossover from other social platforms. It can be good if you've got a dedicated community, but it can also get you a lot of 10-second views from people that are just kind of curious, and they look and then they leave, and then brings down your average view duration and can cause you as far as being a recommended video on YouTube. So it's a catch-22 with Facebook. The other thing is, if they're not signed into their YouTube account, the views don't count and all that kind of stuff as well. Working on more titles and tags. That's good, Sharon. I've got a really good video, hopefully dropping this weekend, on key tags that you guys are going to like. Basically how to probably 4 or 5x your money coming in from your key tags. So it's pretty cool. We're going to do some reverse engineering. Good morning, Kirsten. Love your topic today. Was wondering the same thing. So that, again, let me preface, guys, that I'm not trying to discourage anyone. But the fact of the matter is, realistically, you have to look at this platform and what you're up against. And if you aren't niched down, then you don't really matter to anybody. And you just become very generic. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an analogy that I can compare it to. But, if I'll use my channels as an example. And trust me when I say that my channels are far from perfect, both of them. And I'm actually slacking on both of them right now. But if I were to describe my channel to somebody, and that's actually what I'd like you guys to do right now, is put in the comments basically the name of your channel and what your channel is, or what you feel it is. So Trainer Hub is a workout channel where people can get a variety of different workouts from a variety of different trainers. We have more than just myself, and they are all done in complete silence with no music, no talking, just the time cues. The premise of my channel is to crank up your tunes at home, whatever motivates you, and go to work. We're giving you a gym quality workout and as close to a gym style environment as we possibly can from the comfort of home. That's what my fitness channel is. For better or for worse, that's what it is. But at least it's somewhat unique. Fitness Marketing Hub. Fitness Marketing Hub is a community where people who are in the health and fitness space on YouTube, whether they be personal trainers or fitness brands of any kind that are trying to grow and establish an audience, can go and get advice that is specific to the fitness industry. The reason that it's different is because the psychology of the fitness viewer is different than the psychology of somebody watching gaming or entertainment type channels. So that's why it's different. I don't just say it's fitness because I want to say it's fitness. It is fitness because I understand the psychology, and that comes from 20 plus years of working in this industry in North America on a variety of levels, from personal trainer to front desk attendant to gym owner to selling fitness equipment to creative direction for marketing, supplements, things like that. So I've got a lot of different things from a lot of different avenues that I've been able to pull together, and I understand the platform and the space that we're working in. So that's my 2 channels, and that's my niche. So I want to hear from some of you guys, Sharon, Kirsten, Elaine, Caitlin, anybody who's out there right now, Budo Pilates, like, you guys let me know what you feel your niche is, because this does matter. And I'm positive right now that some of you are probably struggling to say what it is. I even just going through this morning's comments and stuff like that. I mean, at least, I can look with Senior Shape Fitness. Pretty obvious just from the title what her channel is probably going to be about. Senior Shape Fitness. And I won't go any farther than that. And I mean, obviously, she's got a lot of competition out there, but we've niched down in that sense and go farther from there. So Kinetics with Caitlin. My channel is no equipment, at-home workouts using everyday household items or your own body weight. No talking or intros, just music and easy to follow along workouts. Okay, that's pretty good, Caitlin. Like, it's something. There's no equipment necessary, which is big right now because there's no equipment available. Household items, I think that's really cool. And I've seen people that have kind of tapped into that a bit. And if you're doing that exclusively, that's great, because somebody who cannot afford equipment at any point in time, whether it's COVID related or not, they know that all of your stuff is no equipment. So why not subscribe there? Because she's constantly putting up workouts that don't require equipment, all of them. That is a subscribe worthy channel based on that. Now, I'm not talking about production quality or anything like that, but just based on that premise, that's really good. Because it helps, it's something. And there's a ton of people. Just like I get a lot of complaints on my channel about nobody talking, and they can't get to know me, and it'd be nice if I said something. But then I get a lot of comments from people who love it. And I've spoken with this in the past. They love the fact that there's no, let me take this off. You guys start not hearing me, let me know. Actually, no, I like hearing myself. They love that there's no talking, because so many channels out there have the overly bubbly trainer who just won't shut up. So it's like, that's not for everyone. So they found my channel, and it's different. There are people that don't do a lot of talking, but no talking and no music is kind of another level as well. So it's going to have its haters, but I also think that it's a huge draw, and the people that find it and like it subscribe because they like it that much. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Sharon. Find Fitness with Sharon, providing personal training workouts targeting women over 40 who are looking for doable workouts because of variety, modifications, and proper form that you can do at home. Budo Pilates, combining the mobility and strength workout routine of martial artists with Pilates and workouts with props. All right. So, like, Sharon, when you do, excuse me, your workouts, what, and we've spoken about this a little bit in the past, what denotes these workouts being for women over 40? That another channel, Caroline Gervin or Heather Robertson isn't. Like, what are they not doing for women over 40 that you are? Because this is just, good morning, So Spun Out. And this is just me, I'm just challenging it, Sharon, because I want to know, because there could be, you may have something there. because this is one of those things, because I know in the past, I've seen that you've actually started to get a little bit more traction than you were getting previously, but I know you've had some frustrating times where you couldn't figure out, why it wasn't catching on quicker. So I'd love to, shirt off, please hold on. So, so I'm going to challenge you on this. Like we said, the gloves are coming off today, and I want you to explain where the over 40 is. I mean, again, because from a casual viewer of your channel, and I do try and support your channel and watch it, I see the Great for Women Over 40 in most of your titles, but to me, they just look like good workouts. And that's a good thing, but I don't see the over 40 perspective there. So that's why I'm curious. I talk about how I'm a woman over, started in my 40s and now 60s. See, now, I think that more so than over 40, and I think we have talked about this on this live stream before, I think you should be more focused on late bloomers, people that are starting late. There's a ton of over 40 stuff out there. I don't think that you're doing anything proprietary different for over 40. But I do think the fact that you started exercising in your 40s, that to me has much more appeal, because you're not alone with that. And I don't see a lot of channels with that where it's somebody who's promoting the fact that they started in their 40s, because at least you can say, probably if there is anybody doing that right now, they're probably in their 40s and they just started. You started in your 40s and you have 20 years experience. That to me is much more of a niche than what you're currently doing. And then again, your workouts are good. We've discussed this ad nauseum. Your workouts are good. This has always been the thing that's come back. It's like, that niche of what makes you different. And I think that makes you a lot more different. And I think that's the story that should be told. Put out feedback to followers, and that is what people like, that I put women and over, like that word, late bloomers. Yeah, like something along those lines, Sharon, because that was the other thing too, is that I think that a lot of the community that you've got that might give you feedback and stuff like that, I think they were your community before you started on YouTube. I think because you mentioned that a lot of people that are local in your area that you've worked with in person, they're big supporters and followers of the channel, which is fantastic. But they're also, on a personal level, very supportive of you and everything you do. So sometimes that can get a little bit marred, and maybe you don't know for sure if your direction is the right direction, because you're catering to an audience who is going to be supportive of you no matter what, which I'm not taking away from that. Like something I wanted to do with this group, I was looking into it, is trying to find a way. I was going to look at, there's a website called Discord, and I was going to see if there was a way that a bunch of us could sign up under anonymous names, and then collectively we could post our videos, and people could give, not criticism, but constructive feedback on our videos, to help each other, without having to say, Regan says this is terrible, or that sort of thing. But, to be able to just say, their feelings towards watching you, and get real feedback from people as far as what they think is good and bad about your videos. It's still something I'm going to try and look into. I mean, we could do this on the private Facebook group, which, by the way, if any of you guys here have not joined the Facebook group yet, we do have a private Facebook group. It is facebook.com, search for Fitness Marketing Hub, and it should come up. I'll also post a link in here after. Actually, I'll post a link right now. This should work, I think. All right, put it in the comments if any of you guys want to join the group. But I mean, I'm not afraid to say out loud, politely to people and give them constructive criticism. It's only my opinion at the end of the day, and they can take it or leave it, and I'm not always right. But I think having something like that where you can get some community support from your peers might be a nice thing to do, because sometimes when we're at that smaller level, much of our community is friends, family, past clients, things like that, they're just going to support you no matter what, which is a wonderful thing. Don't get me wrong, but it can also affect you when it comes to getting good feedback. Yeah, Caitlin, I think the Facebook group would be a good place for it too. I just feel like some people might hold grudges if somebody says something negative. And I don't want anything to be negative. I think it's good to let people know the positives of their workouts and the negatives. But we can start doing that. If any of you guys want to put up your videos, make them, even if you make them unlisted at first, and then share them in the group and ask for feedback. And I think be open to the feedback you get. And I mean, and don't get upset about it. Yeah, so I mean, that's one idea we had. So go back here, I missed CVR. Sharon, do you mean CTR, click-through rate? I think it should be compared to watch time and viewership growing. So Elaine Ragan, you helped with 20-minute workouts. However, I don't think that is enough of a niche. Other than that, it's just follow along, but it's instructed. I do think, Elaine, that the 20 minutes is enough if given time. The only other workaround would be if you started focusing on one thing, like whether it be all dumbbell, all resistance bands, that sort of thing. This doesn't mean that you're always stuck there. Like I've toyed with the idea. Like actually, if you guys haven't checked out yet, I've started another channel with somebody, and I'm doing a channel called Trainer Hub Sexy Strong Fit, which is basically covering a lot of health and nutrition hacks. It's just kind of starting up there now, but it's going to focus on anti-aging, a lot of deep dives into supplements and ingredients and supplements and things like that. And so, I mean, I've thought about adding some more talking things like product reviews and stuff to my Trainer Hub channel, because now I'm at a point where my channel it's got a certain amount of growth happening, and I kind of have defined my niche, and I do think I can expand on it a bit. But I think starting out, because if you start out and every workout's a different amount of time and every workout is a different genre, and even if they're all good, I think it's just really hard to break through, as opposed to being the channel that's all of something, at least to start pulling in those early adopters of your programs. And then from there, you can slowly start to expand, because then you've got a larger community that you've attracted, and you're able to kind of steer it in the direction you want to go. So that would be the only other thing, Elaine, if you were to break that, would be to niche down on the genres and stuff. But I actually like the all 20-minute workout. Again, we've talked about, you look at the rising searches and the top searches every month, a lot of it is time-based. It's, 10-minute workout, 7-minute workout, 20-minute workout. It's people are looking for workout not based on, something particular all the time, but based on the amount of time they've got to do it. So it's something, but you don't say you're sorry, Elaine. But yeah, so I mean, I mean, we can always sidebar about that, but I mean, again, you're another example where your workouts are good, your energy is good, and then it's a matter of, where to go. Because what I see happening, Elaine, if you don't eventually find yourself, is you're going to burn out. You remind me a lot of Kim with Hit Your Goals, because you're plowing out a lot of workouts, and it's a lot of effort, and I can totally appreciate the effort that all of you guys are putting in. And if it doesn't eventually start to grow, that's when people start to kind of go down those rabbit holes of like for like groups and things like that, looking for anything just to help give them some sort of satisfaction that they feel is growing, which in reality can be hurting them even more in the long term. So and Oh, you stopped the 20 minutes, Elaine? Okay. And the other one that I didn't mean to jump out just on yours, Sharon, but so going back up to Budo Pilates. So I actually like your niche as well. You know, again, it's combining, I love hearing like mashups of things because that to me is very unique. It can be harder to get off the ground, but like a mashup of martial arts with Pilates is very cool. You know, I don't think your niche has any bearing on your growth, but it's because it's a good niche. So I mean, but I think that's the kind of thing that we have to look at. Kirsten, my channel offers a wide variety of workouts, including dumbbells, TRX, resistance bands, and the stationary bike. I offer 60, 45, 30, 20, and 10-minute workouts. And Kirsten, while on paper that sounds awesome, I actually think that will eventually affect your growth as well, because you're offering everything. It's like a buffet of stuff instead of specializing in something. And again, it's not meant to discourage anybody, but that to me can be more of a problem. Like, even on my own channel, I'm kind of all over the place too, because there's sandbag, there's kettlebell, there's dumbbell. I've done band workouts. I've done Surge Storm workouts. There's been a variety of things, fitness loops, mini bands, but my niche has never been a specific genre. My niche has been the silence. So I think I'm tapping into all those little genres, but I'm looking for, you know, people who like band workouts but don't want music and talking. People who like sandbag workouts but don't like the music or talking. So that kind of works for me. But I think that's the thing, like, Kirsten, if you're doing all of that stuff, then what's the niche? You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what, again, comes down to, you get lost in the shuffle because you're just throwing everything out there. And that's not to say that all the workouts aren't fantastic. And I mean, and I know for a fact that your energy is fantastic, but it's like, what's going to make them subscribe? Because if they're already subscribed to other channels that have millions of subscribers that do TRX resistance bands and stationary bike and all these different things, to me, it's like, if there's nothing standing out and they come across one of your workouts, they might do that workout, but it's like, well, I already have a channel for TRX and I already have a channel for resistance bands. I don't need to subscribe. And I think that's the thing, but it's like, you know, again, if there's something there that's very proprietary and different, then it's like, well, I'm going to subscribe because there's something that's actually speaking to me with this channel, beyond, you know, so just my thoughts. Sorry, I'm just catching up here. No problem, Budo Pilates. I do workouts for my clients, boot camp participants, and they like a little of everything, but that isn't great for the algorithms. No, and that's the thing. It's just a matter of, you guys are not going to make your money off your free channels. You're going to make your money off of products, services, one-on-one online training. Things like that is where you're going to make your products. In order to do that, you need somebody to go from a casual viewer to a part of your community. And once they get, and so it's always, you've got to have that draw that makes them connect with your community. So I think it's a matter, Kirsten, of, you know, when I talked, I think it was a couple weeks ago, about discovery content, community content, and then sales content. I think, you know, some of the things, like I do think it's cool when you're outside at the park and doing the boot camps and stuff like that. And there's a lot of fun with that, and they're good. And I'm not sure how easy or hard it is for somebody to follow along with a workout like that. But that to me is community content. You know, if you do a really nice polished video that's something specific in a niche that's pulling people in, once they're a subscriber, you go, hey guys, I'm going live from the park in such and such next week. It's full boot camp. All my guys are going to be there. Hope you guys can join us digitally, and it'll be a lot of fun. And, you know, then you're kind of pulling them into level 2. And then when they start doing that, they're starting to get to know you better because they're seeing you interacting with other people. And then that's when it's like, okay, well, here's my 30-day slim down program, or my 60-day this, or my, whatever that might be. So I think that might be what you'll have to do, Kirsten, is start to segregate between content that's meant to draw in new subscribers and then content that is meant to satisfy and have fun with your community. And that might help a little bit. Elaine, people in my bootcamp class do like to be surprised on what they're going to get, but I agree with Kirsten. Yeah, I think it's the same thing where, when I look at the Fitness Marketing Hub channel, I can't cater all of my produced videos for this community. I mean, there are people in this live stream right now that I've spoke to many times through Facebook, one-on-one, through email, Zoom calls, all of that kind of stuff. So the content that I'm doing that's produced, which I haven't done much in a while, I have to cater to a larger audience. Again, like one of the 2 videos that I have coming up are basically how to 5x your income on YouTube using click-through rates, or using, by basically reverse engineering key tags, which is something I think will be interesting to you guys. Another one I'm going to be doing is how to shoot part 2, which is 6 months overdue, on how to shoot a professional quality video with your smartphone from home. I did one and it's one of my best videos on that channel, where I went over the equipment that I recommended, and then the next one's going to be the actual production. I've actually already filmed this months ago. I haven't even edited it yet. But a lot of you guys, I think, are past that, but I still need to do that because I still need to grow this community beyond my core people that I follow these live streams and stuff like that. So I think that's the transition that you guys have to make as well. Because basically what happens, guys, is I'm trying to think of how to actually segue into this. Like, I see patterns, and this is not with you guys, just in general. I see patterns because I deal with people, other people as well. And the pattern I see is that a trainer joins YouTube. They join as a trainer, not a content creator, which I've kind of talked about the differences. You need to join YouTube as a content creator if a lucrative business is your plan. You need to be thinking about monetizing from day one, not from 1,000 subscribers on, because I think what happens is you're a trainer, you go in, you want to keep up with a gym schedule, so you're trying to do 4 videos a week. You're basically pumping out too much content as opposed to cutting it in half and doing better quality content. You refuse to purchase, you refuse to invest in this. This is a business, and you are going to have to make some investments in this. You can't just do the free thumbnail app and the free editing app and the free this and the free that. You have to put some time into this. Your thumbnails can't be some semi-blurry phone picture that your 6-year-old took. You've got to have somebody, it's got to be lined up properly, and it's got to look nice and vibrant and very crystal clear. You'll never have me on this channel pushing big priced stuff, because we all come from different areas. We all have different amount of income. We all have different amounts that we're going to actually want to invest in this in the first place. But you need to basically, my boiler's about to start there, so it's throwing me off. Totally lost my train of thought. Give me a second, I'll get it back. Shut up, boiler. It's rattling and clicking in the background. But yeah, there are investments that are going to have to be made, like any business. If you're opening a flower shop, you need to invest in flowers and flower pots and things like that you're selling. It's the same thing here. If investing in Adobe Suite, we'll say, which is a monthly fee of, I don't know, they have different specials a couple times a year where you can get the entire Adobe creative platform for like $30 a month or something crazy. But it helps you. and it's going to help you make better thumbnails. It's going to give you more access to different fonts, things that everything stands out. Oh my God, shut up. But so basically, it you're throwing me off too, so spun out. I have no idea who you are. But yeah, so I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people that they come in as personal trainers, and okay, I gotta shut that off. It's gonna drive me crazy. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I can't shut it off. It doesn't take much for me to lose my focus on here. So yeah, so what I see more than anything else, and I'm going to backtrack a bit because I know that the last 5 minutes was scattered. Personal trainers join YouTube as personal trainers. They try and do the schedule that they do at the gym. They do subpar quality content, but they'll do it 3 or 4 times a week. So they figure, well, the algorithm's going to like me because I'm posting 4 times a week. The content lacks any kind of graphic, timers, structure. They're using, their phones or things like that, which I'm not against. Most smartphones can do this. But again, at some point in time, if business is, the channels that are in this community that are growing right now, they have very clear picture. They consistently post 2 or 3 times a week. They have very good quality thumbnails. They have a brand aesthetic on their channels. They have microphones and they have timer graphics. And basically that is the foundation to start to grow. When you're just pounding off stuff and your camera is tipped on its side and you don't have a niche and you're following other patterns, like again, the Google Rising Trends is meant for you guys to help you understand the kind of areas that are growing, but you can't constantly be switching focus every 30 days because you cannot connect with that audience. And this is the same thing. So when they start doing this, right off the bat, they push it on social media, which is going to get you those initial views and subscribers from friends and family and colleagues and things like that. They'll check it out. A few will subscribe, but then it'll start to tank again because they're not actually actively looking to do your workouts. I mean, there'll be a group of them, but a lot of them are just going to check it out and they'll be done with it. It'll be one and done. And by doing that, you're also bringing down your average view time, and it's not going to help your growth on YouTube. So now frustration starts to kick in because you're 2 months in or 3 months in and you're not seeing the growth you wanted other than that initial impact. So then it becomes, joining these Reddit groups or joining these Facebook groups that basically are set up to, you like my workout and comment on it and watch it for 20 minutes, then I'm going to do the same to you. These things are going to mess up all of your analytics, which then you're looking at your analytics and go, oh, look, everything's up. My click-through rates are up and my Facebook traffic, like you're telling me Facebook's bad, but Facebook looks, it's one of my biggest suppliers of things. And it's like, I can't even go in and look at your analytics and tell you what's happening because it's so confusing from all these third-party people that are trying to artificially pump up your stuff. So now that doesn't work, and that's also a peak followed by a valley. And then on top of that, we can't even look at the analytics and figure out what's wrong because the analytics are so screwed up from people watching them from all these different places. Like I can say, oh, your videos are really popular in India. Maybe you should do Indian translations. No, that's actually because you hired some bot to like your videos or something like this. So these are the kind of things that can really throw all of this off. And then more frustration kicks in. And at that point, a lot of people just end up quitting. And maybe the following January, they pump in, now this time they're going to do it, but they follow that same pattern. If this is you need to stop these practices now. Stop with the third parties. You need to take a hard look, full niche aside, take a hard look at your production quality. I'm not telling you to go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff, but it's like, if your thumbnails are bad, fix it. If your, if your video's bouncing while you're exercising because you've got a $20 tripod and you're bouncing on a subfloor and it's going up, that's a problem. If you're set for autofocus and every time you move, your thing's going into autofocus, these are all problems. And average people who are not in your ecosystem are not going to forgive you for that. They'll just not subscribe. And you need to look at that stuff, take off the beer goggles. Everybody that's in this live stream right now, everybody that I deal with, you're all very talented. You all have pluses and minuses as far as where you're going right now, and it's a matter of filling in those gaps. But if you refuse to, go to that next level as far as, look at your thumbnails. Are they good or not? I'm no different than you guys for the fact, one of the big advantages I have is that I've made a career out of filming stuff. So I've got cameras, I've got studio space, I've got all of that. But guess what? I have to actually jump in and do my workouts now, and I'm not a personal trainer anymore. Thankfully, I'm certified, but I'm not a personal trainer anymore. I don't want to be a personal trainer anymore, and I really don't want to be on camera. There are far better trainers than me out there. But if you look at some of my videos, some of them do okay, some of them do really good. And the reason is that the video quality is good, the thumbnail is good, the title is good, the key tags are good, because I'm going to optimize everything that I can, because it really comes down to accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. And each one of you has positives and negatives, and you have to be very open about that and decide, how to get around that. Look at, if you've ever seen the movie Moneyball, it's one of my favorite movies. And I love the fact that the whole thing came down to, it's like, you're not trying to buy players, you're trying to buy wins. And they basically reverse engineered a baseball team that almost won the World Series. And this is a true story. If you haven't watched the movie, watch it. Anyway, just my opinion on that and that part of it. A couple questions here. You can't hear me, Elaine? Can I hear me? It says I can hear me. Caitlin, think about experiment next video with not marketing on Facebook at all. I'll tell you right now, Caitlin, I've never looked at your analytics before, but based on history and working with people in that circumstance, I've never seen somebody not post on Facebook for 30 days and not see their average view time go up. You may get less views, but your average watch time goes up, which is a plus. And that's something that the algorithm rewards you with by surfacing your video and recommending it to more people. So it wouldn't hurt to try it all. You get nothing to lose because you're still in the early going. My leg workout retention was 75% and click-through rate was 12%. Then I marketed it and it went down to 20. Yeah. By marketing, you meant you sent it to Facebook? Yeah, because Facebook's not your audience. They'll click through and see what you're up to. Again, people are nosy by nature. They will check it out. But we're not in this for views. You're in this because you want people to do your workouts. You want them to watch your workouts from start to finish. That's how everything goes up. Your average watch time is never going to be the length of your workout. It just doesn't happen. Because there are those people that'll watch it for 10, 20 seconds, and just for whatever reason, it's a disconnect. It's not what they're looking for. But that gets, it gets kind of fixed by the people that watch the whole workout. And those are the people that hopefully subscribe and do all those kind of things. So, you can hear me, Kristen? Great. Oh, the noise. Oh, yeah. I'm glad you guys can't hear it. It's just this little rattling noise. Like this building's 150 years old, and it looks great, but it operates poorly at times. And so it's just this weird rattling thing. And I'm like a squirrel. Like it takes nothing to divert my attention, and it just throws off my train of thought, especially on a live stream. Oh, okay, yeah, got you, Lane. So just curious, like, I mean, most of the guys that are in this group I've spoken to before, like, are you guys able to admit what your weaknesses are right now, or what you feel your weaknesses are? Or do you just think that the algorithm is against you? Like, let me know, like, fire something in the comments. I'm very curious as to what you think may be the issue. Meanwhile, I'm going to drink. Besides improving quality and description tags, how do we promote? Right now, you don't, Elaine. I think right now it's a matter, I mean, it was brought up, I think 2 weeks ago, Sharon had mentioned about trying, I think it was Sharon, considering spending money on promoting. But really if you're not getting a high click-through rate now, I mean, again, you'll know when it's time to start promoting, because you'll see your click-through rates are going up, your average watch time is going up, and that tells you that the people that are finding you, they're into your content. So now it's like, okay, well, what if more people can find me? And again, that's why these third-party like-for-like things don't work, because they throw off your confidence, because you don't know exactly whether things are working or not. If your click-through rates are low, if your average watch time is not great, those are red flags that it's not time to promote your channel. There's obviously still a problem, because even if 100 people find you and only 5 people watch your videos for more than 30 seconds, that doesn't mean that like if you send it out to 1 million people, you're still only going to get 50,000 or whatever that is, 500. It's not going to make the percentages go up. It's basically, it's not. You need to get the percentages up based on organic, like the analytics are there. They're going to tell you when you're ready, and you'll know when it's time to start promoting things. And I also think it's not worth spending the money to promote your videos until you have a product or a service of some sort ready to sell, because you need to recoup that money back. And that's kind of the problem that you'll run into. Posting on Facebook probably, as that's where my traffic is coming from. Refining my niche. Yeah, like I know, Sharon, again, because you're in one of those situations where you've got your community. But if they're an active community, your Facebook, I mean, you can look at your Facebook watch time, and are they watching it on a smart TV? Are they watching, like, are they, if the majority of people on Facebook that you're sending this to are watching it for 30 seconds on their phone, that's not helping you. If they're watching it on average for 7 minutes on a smart TV, a lot of them are doing the workouts. So you have to look at those percentages, and that can kind of make you decide if it's worth it or not. You're kind of unique in the fact that I know you've got an established clientele of people that are kind of following you and that sort of thing. So and yeah, and I think with the niche, Sharon, I don't know everything. I don't think the niche is working, the over 40, because I don't think there's anything proprietary to over 40. To me, it's more of a buzzword right now, if I'm being totally honest. And whereas I do think being a late starter is very intriguing and interesting. How you would go about marketing that is a whole other thing. But I think it needs to, I guess it's more of a focus on beginners. I think it's something where in your intros you can mention something about, and constantly be mentioning this, that it's, starting late and that sort of thing, and workouts, whatever that might be. I can't come up with it on the spot, but I do think it has much more intrigue and much more subscriber ability than over 40, because I'm not seeing it with over 40. And again, that I like your workouts, and I've said before, like, your workouts are extremely well produced and it's good content. It's just what's that focus. Yeah, and I do think, Sharon, that you are getting a little bit of traction now. Because I've seen like you're up over 400 now, and one or more a day is good. When I started back in December 2018, when I started I started actually actively doing something with my channel, I was getting probably anywhere from like 0 on a bad day to maybe 3 or 4 subscribers on a good day. But a lot of days were 2, 3 subscribers. Like, it wasn't big at that time. So it's not like that's something. And here we are, whatever it was 2 years later that I was up to almost 100 subscribers a day. There are not many people doing videos, women over 40. Really, only big person is PJ Fitness, but I agree. Yeah, and it's not a matter of that. It's a matter of why are they for over 40? That's the thing that keeps going back into my head, is why is it over for 40, other than, mentioning in the title, this is great for over 40. I think it requires more. I think it'll make people check it out, but I don't know that. I just don't know if it's niche enough. Maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, I did a thing last weekend where I was introduced. I was doing a seminar, and somebody introduced me as an expert. And the first thing I said is that I'm not an expert at this. If I were an expert, then that basically means that I'm selling you guys a false bill of goods right now, because that means that you have to be an expert to do this. You don't. You don't have to be experts to do this, but you do have to be honest with yourselves and realize what works and what doesn't. I mean, this week alone, I was working. There is my degree is in journalism. My degree is not in film. I had to be self-taught for film. So I went through a lot of this, and I was at one point in my career running film crews of people who all had more experience than I did. Just this week, I needed some graphics for a project I was working on, and I was going to hire my editor to create graphics for me. Basically, because it's another one of the Adobe softwares, Adobe After Effects, which I don't have any experience using it. I've picked at it a couple times and found it really confusing. But the project is for a nonprofit, and I didn't have a budget to pay him. So I'm like, I got to stop paying out of pocket for stuff like this, and I got to learn how to do this. So I basically spent the afternoon. I did tutorials, I buckled down, and I learned how to do that software. You guys have to do the same thing. Put as much effort into, if I could recommend to all of you right now, I would say get Adobe Premiere, get Adobe Photoshop, get a good Epidemic Sound membership. You're looking in total at probably spending about, Epidemic Sound is a couple $100 for the full year. Adobe Suite, I believe it's something like $30 a month or something like that. But suddenly now you've got the tools to create better content. And honestly, then I would probably cut the amount of content you're doing in half. Even if you're doing one workout a week, make it a good one. Put as much time into the choreography, the filming, and the editing, and not just be pounding out all these workouts just to keep stuff coming up. If that's not working, then obviously cut it back, because you're going to get burned out anyway, and it's not going to work. So just because you keep pumping out 4 workouts a week doesn't mean that eventually the algorithm is going to trigger and suddenly everyone's going to love my channel. You should be seeing signs right now that people are loving your channel based on what we just discussed, the click-through rates in your thumbnails, average view time, stuff like that. Even if only 100 people are finding your videos, those percentages you can see and you can understand that it's working. If you're not seeing that, it's not working. So it's not like it's suddenly gonna, suddenly the algorithm is going to see this and it's going to trigger and off we go and everything's successful. Like, it doesn't just change. If it's not connecting now, that doesn't mean it's gonna connect in 6 months. PJ is to recover your tush of your 20s. Oh, that's the other person who does the 40s thing? And I mean, if that's another person, I think that's the one you mentioned earlier. Yeah, PJ Fitness. that's the other thing to think about, Sharon, too, is that if this person is doing that and they're doing it so well, then you doing a similar thing as far as in your 40s, like, do you become are you doing it better than that person? Or are you just becoming like a light version of that person? Which is something you want to avoid. And that's when it comes down to, that niche. Like I go back to my fitness channel. What makes my channel special is not really the workouts. It's everything surrounding the workouts that make it unique. And it's unique in the fact that either somebody loves it or hates it. And I think that might be the best way for you guys to go into this, is create a channel that people are either going to love or hate. I'd rather have somebody love my channel, like 50 people love it, 50 people hate it, than to have 100 people that think it's kind of okay. I want much more passion for my product, because of those 50 people, then maybe 25 can become clients of a membership level or that sort of thing. Like, that's how you have to look at this, as opposed to just trying to please everybody. Because I can assure you, I get all kinds of hate on my channel. People don't like, all I hear is somebody breathing. I get that stuff all the time. It doesn't bother me. It's whatever. And I've said to a few people, they've caught me in bad days. It's like, if you don't like the channel, like, then take off. Like, the channel's not for everybody. And I think that's kind of where you guys have to be too. Instead of trying to be for everybody, just create something that is great for some people. And then for others, they just pass it by. Because the people that it's great for, they're going to watch all your videos. They're going to watch them from start to finish. They're going to participate. And then now you've got something happening. So I know we're kind of going in and out of rabbit holes with this, but it still comes down to the same thing, like whether it's time to quit or not time to quit. I don't ever think it's time to quit, guys. But if you're unwilling to look unbiasedly at your product and decide whether or not it's something that's going to make you a revenue at some point, and again, if some of you guys have lots of time, that's great. I've worked with some people who wanted me to assist them with they wanted to make a living on a new channel by the end of this year. And it's like, that's asking a lot, especially when there's problems. And, I'm almost at a point where I probably could make a living off YouTube, but I don't want to right now because I don't trust that it's going to always be like this. A lot of my stuff is heavily focused on sponsors and stuff, but I'm constantly trying as best I can, between working on actual projects and things like that, make my channel continue to grow. And it comes down to basically planning ahead. You guys right now should be connecting with brands, establishing relationships, finding brands that work with your brand. And you don't have to get paid for this, but start establishing relationships. If your content is good, you've got power in this industry. And something I spoke about last weekend, actually, in this thing I was doing. If you get your content under control, you find a good niche, your production quality is good, your thumbnails are good, you're taking care of all those little things, like all those little things that are fully under your control, accentuating the positives, hiding the negatives, you've got a product that has value, regardless of whether anybody finds it on YouTube. And big corporate brands, whether it is clothing companies, supplement companies, anybody, they they can't keep up with content demands. I mentioned this thing last weekend, that when I was working in creative with the supplement company, for us to go out and do a one-day shoot to just get B-roll for product videos and things like that, you were looking at anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 for one day, just to get a collection of B-roll, like people doing different exercises and stuff to turn it into these little product video things that we did that never worked anyway. So if you're producing content like Sharon, I'll use you as an example because we're talking here. Oh, sounds good, Elaine. Have a great day and look forward to chatting with you soon. Sharon, your videos are easily worth probably $3,500 per workout. if that's going back to the days of DVDs, if somebody came in and wanted to do 3 workouts at the level of what you're doing right now, that would have cost them $10,000. Think about that when you're doing your workouts. There is a boatload of value in your content, regardless of whether anybody's watching it. So when you connect with these brands and you establish yourself as a good quality content creator, you want to establish a relationship, you want to incorporate their products in that, you're not looking for any money right now, but you'd love to work with them in some capacity and give them access to your content, they're dumb if they don't do this because they need content. You've got guys like Gary Vee telling people, oh, you need 75 pieces of content a day or 100 pieces of content a day, something crazy like that. You need, you have value to them. They can take, and I've gotten sponsorships from doing this, from starting for free and them taking my content and basically sharing it to their audience. Their audience crosses over. So I'm getting paid in residual value of new subscribers and they're getting content out there with their products in it. That's very good quality. And that eventually turned into paid sponsorships. So that's the kind of stuff that you guys need to be doing now. Don't wait to get the Google monetization is going to be such a small part of your income if income is your purpose here. So don't say, well, once I get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time and all that, then I'll start to do this and that. Every video gets monetized at the same time. So everything you're doing now when you're not monetized, it all gets monetized later. So you should be infusing brands and products and things into your videos, because do you really want to go back and change the description on every one of your videos to add, whether it's buy me a coffee or any of that stuff? So something to think about. Sharon, I did have a brand contact me to incorporate their product. I'll be getting it shortly. Just make sure it's something you believe in, Sharon. If you have any questions about that, because I've got, it's kind of blurred out, but that back shelf behind me, I've probably got 6 products that I have yet to review. and I'm getting something new every week now, but I'm starting to turn it down. Initially, when I started taking them, is because I wanted to show you guys that even at 10,000 subscribers, the kind of stuff that you're offered. Now I'm getting good stuff. Like I got a wicked massage gun in the mail a few weeks ago, like really, really nice. And things like that. But there's been stuff like, you just have to be cautious of it, because people will, they just want to use you to get their product out there. And there's not, oh yeah, you do that. And then they can basically utilize your videos because your videos are good quality and they're getting that for free. And then you're turning around and getting a free product, or you're getting something or other. Like there's a lot of little things just to be careful of there, because you don't want to be taken advantage of, and you've got value in your content. So just be, you got to choose from a variety. Oh, you know what? I bet you I know who, I bet you I know the company that you're dealing with. I turned them down. I might be wrong, but I had a similar thing about 3 or 4 weeks ago, wanting me to do a review, and I just said no. Especially because they contacted me on Instagram. You can email me. I don't need to be contacted over Instagram. Yeah, so trying to think of the best way to kind of overarch this whole thing. Value your content. Like keep in mind that regardless of views and subscribers and that, your content is worth money. So when I say things like invest in Adobe Premiere, Adobe Photoshop, a good epidemic sound thing, start putting together programs, open a Buy Me a Coffee, sell your programs and services off of there. Start doing all of that now to prepare for the future, because the better your content gets, the better quality it gets, regardless of how long it takes for people to start watching it. If the choreography is good, if it's an interesting niche, and it's a niche that corporate companies are looking for, you've got an asset in your content that you can go to people with. I didn't get like 80% of my income is from sponsorships. I went to them. I went to 250 companies, got 3 sponsors out of it. Really bad odds, like really bad ratio, but literally 250, custom emails sent out to brands, 10 responses, 3 deals. But it's enough that most people could live off of it. So that's the kind of thing that you want to think about, because it right off the bat, have value in your product. Do everything you can to improve the quality of your product. I'm not talking about fancy cameras and stuff, but maybe at some point you are going to get a good consumer. I've talked different times about, Canon Rebel T4 is a camera that I used to use for shooting some of my videos. And it's a photographer's camera. It's a consumer camera. You can find those on Craigslist and stuff for $200 now, and very rich color, very clear. It doesn't do 4K, but it does 1080. You can use it for live streams, and it's nice quality. So you can invest in stuff like that specifically for your fitness videos. The Sony A6500 is a great vlogger's camera. It's really forgiving for people working in low light if you don't have a lighting kit, and it can really help you do a nice, crystal clear video. So some of this stuff you may want to go to the next level, and again, having a microphone. I know some of you had issues with microphones and stuff, but it adds to the overall just presentation of you, as opposed to an echoey voice. Even if I can hear you, if it's an echoey voice from across the room and there's a big shadow on your face and that, like, it's really hard to get into that, because it really feels like you're kind of just dealing with a home video. Whereas if you go to it, again, if this live stream, I think you guys are probably somewhat forgiving, but if this was me sitting in my truck with my phone held up doing a live stream and freezing and all that kind of stuff, it's probably not as good as having a nice, good quality HD setup. I had to purchase StreamYard to do this. I don't make money off these live streams, but I'm investing in it because it helps me build this community. It helps me talk to you guys, and I do actually think it's helped me. And over time, it probably has brought me in money, because again, Buy Me a Coffee makes money for me every month, and it's a combination of consultations and people buying interval timers, email templates, channel overhauls, all that kind of stuff. So I don't think, without getting to know me through something like this, I do think that Buy Me a Coffee pays for StreamYard. So look at it from that perspective. Senior Shape Fitness was at D-Moose. That's who it was that contacted me, yeah. So, good call. And I didn't do anything with them. They annoyed me. So that's my review. So we're at like an hour and 10 minutes, guys. So that's basically the takeaway from this. The title basically maybe a little bit clickbaity, but if you guys are not going to take it to the next level, I think you have to be satisfied knowing that you're just going to be an average channel. You're probably not going to make a dime off YouTube. My recommendations, if you're serious about this, is get a good editing software. Something that maybe you may need to invest a little bit of money in. Learn how to use it. If you have to take 2 months off, again, what I'm telling people right now, for the next couple of months, push hard. When you get into late June and then July and August, take the entire 3 months off if you have to. If you don't have any momentum anyway, you have nothing to lose. Get these products that I'm talking about. Learn how to use them. Do some tutorials. I am going to start doing tutorials for the members on Buy Me a Coffee. Kirsten, I'm not sure if she's still there, but Kirsten's one of my members. Kirsten has had a difficult time learning Photoshop for doing thumbnails. So I'm going to be doing a thorough thing on using Photoshop to make thumbnails. Because it's not that difficult. If you have a template that's made, it's not that difficult to do. And off you go. So 540 watt, so spun out. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So basically, I do recommend investing in these things, whether it be, again, I use Adobe. I find it's just the most universal, even if you needed to get help with somebody in that, most professional editors use Adobe products now, and graphic designers and stuff like that. So it's very universal, but there's an expense. You have to justify an expense of kind of like a gym membership. Learn how to use this stuff. Learn how to use your camera phone settings or your camera settings to make it as optimized as possible. Add the graphics to your things, add the timers and stuff. I didn't have timers when I first started. I added that because I got multiple requests to do it. You have to be willing to adapt, and it may not always be exactly what you planned for your channel. My channel was not what has attracted people to my workout channel is not what it was meant to be. My channel was just supposed to be raw workouts, ambient sound, nothing, just very raw training in a gym. And if you go to the earlier videos, you'll see that. But I got a lot of different comments about, I love this, but it's missing this and that. And I ignored them, but they got more and more and more and more. Eventually I started incorporating little things in. So my channel evolved. And again, it was never meant to be workout in silence. It was meant to be workout to your own music. It's like an ASMR thing where people are enjoying working out in silence. Fine, I'll go with that. Fitness Marketing Hub was meant to be a behind the scenes vlog of my company and me doing shoots. If you go to the earlier videos, there's vlogs of me traveling to Arizona to shoot. There's behind the scenes me shooting boudoir photo shoots, stuff like that. And then all of a sudden it turned into this. And I ran with it because this worked. So be open to change. Find your niche it down. There's not much point of me doing any behind the scenes vlog stuff now because it just doesn't mesh with what I'm doing. So that's basically what I can tell you guys. Make these subtle investments. I'll never steer you guys in the direction of spending a lot of money on this because the odds of making money can be slim. But the odds of making money are almost non-existent if you don't put some time into improving production quality. And the odds of of growing a subscriber base in a community that you can in turn sell products and services to is very much diminished if you don't find a niche, because the niche is what's going to make them subscribe in the current 2021 climate on YouTube. If you do an everything channel with everything in it, you are basically fully reliant on them connecting with your personality, that's a hard thing to ask. You want them to connect with your content, and then your personality and your whole demeanor is secondary. So I think that you're definitely, what's the word? Stagnating your growth if you don't look at some of these things and make those tough decisions. If you do a lot of live content, I think that's wonderful. If you think live content is going to grow your channel in the aftermath of the live content, you're wrong. It's got to be a mix. And I'm really bad for this right now because I haven't produced a good video in a couple of months for this channel. It's been mostly live streams, but this is just me having to, do content for this channel, content for my other channel, and then actually have multiple clients that are all struggling to communicate with their consumers during COVID, and I'm trying to shoot stuff for them. So I have to basically go where I have to go. But so that's, excuse me, that's kind of your takeaway on it. If you're going to continue in that realm of using these third-party things and you like me, I like you, it won't work. If you're not going to improve your production quality, it's not going to work. If you're not going to niche down, it's not going to work from a perspective of making money and developing a community. Because for me, it's start your channel, populate your channel, have a good brand aesthetic, organically grow, develop a community, create products and services that you can sell to that community. And that's how it works. Like, I don't like to push anything at anybody. when I created Buy Me a Coffee, that's there for you guys if you want it. There's a lot of general knowledge on my channel, on this channel, for people trying to grow their channels. If somebody wants to specifically discuss their channel for an hour, one-on-one, and look at the analytics and decide what's happening, that's what Buy Me a Coffee is for. That's where people can, and it's like, is it worth the investment? The people that have done it seem to be happy with it. There are people that have purchased launch packages for their channels where they've got basically kind of an aesthetic overhaul, more branded colors and things like that, and it creates that really kind of nice aesthetic, clean brand look that they can use to draw in clients. That just basically elevates them. It still comes down to the workout itself and the production quality, but at least when you've got those little things taken care of, it's an investment, but the hope is that your analytics show growth from that. And most of the people that I've worked with have seen growth after doing these things. So, all right, guys, it seems like we're starting to wind down. You guys let me know if you have any other questions. We can keep going, or I can wind it down. It's up to you. Something I did mention, I'll mention a few things here. If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, we do have the private Facebook group. If you guys want to start sharing your workouts in there and get feedback, I actually encourage you to do so. Be thick-skinned about it. Don't anybody be rude to anybody, but I think constructive criticism is good. And the address again is that. That's there. If you want to connect with me on Instagram, it is up in that corner at Regan Rogerson. Buy Me a Coffee, we've kind of talked about. It's basically, it's our membership portal. If you're interested in a membership, we do 12-month memberships, and it's basically everything from monthly consultations to deep diving in your analytics, understanding what's wrong, fixing what's wrong, and making sure that you're always optimized for growth. So it's something that's there. It's available to everybody. And what else? Yeah, any basic questions, you can always throw them in on Facebook. I don't get there every day, but I try. And right now. And yeah, anything else we can think of, guys? Coffee's done. May as well mention too, if you guys want to check out this company here, it's www.naked.com. This is probably, and I would not say this if I didn't mean it, the best tasting, cleanest protein I've ever had in my life. It's actually made here in Canada, and it is pretty incredible. I'm a big believer when it comes to with proteins and whey proteins, and that you get what you pay for. Anybody tells you otherwise, they're lying. And this one is not cheap protein, but it is a phenomenal protein. Tastes incredible. It's just got really high doses of ingredients. It includes bovine colostrum, which I love personally. It's great for building lean muscle. But yeah, check out his site. Free shout out. All right, guys. It looks like everybody's getting pretty quiet. So that's it. If you guys have any questions about this, and again, I hope I was specific enough. I didn't plan ahead on what I was going to say for this, just because I don't operate that way. But I think it's just a matter of really, take the beer goggles off, take a good hard look at your brand from an outside perspective, decide what's wrong with it, what needs to be fixed, and really kind of, make that decision on whether or not it's are you on your way to success, or are you just hoping for success? And if there's problems with it, get them fixed. Again, if you really are serious about this as a business, then maybe there is a small investment that can be made to get you one step ahead or two steps ahead. And over time, things like that may help. As always, I am available for consultations and things like that. I mentioned the Facebook group. It's basically, I'm going to do the consultations the first week of every month. This month I've extended an extra week, but this is basically something I have to do to kind of keep my schedule clear. But they are good for people who are looking to next level things affordably and figure out what's going wrong. Because it's hard sometimes. You feel like you're doing everything. You really can't see the problem, but sometimes looking at the analytics, you can usually find what the problems are and where they're coming from. And sometimes it's you can be very surprised what it might be, like we discussed briefly there today. Sometimes you think that you're doing yourself good by sharing your videos on Facebook and social media and things like that, when in reality you may not be. You may actually be getting a few additional views, but your watch time is going down. Your average watch time is going down, and as a result of that, you don't get recommended, which means you don't show up in other people's recommended videos. And on top of that, you have a hard time finding the appropriate viewers. So your videos are recommended to the wrong people, and a whole spiral of things can happen from that. So again, one example. Yeah, again, it's not always mistakes or production quality or the workouts themselves. Sometimes you're working so hard, you may be doing things that are counterproductive to your own growth. But that's what we come here for every week. And aside from that, we have, as I'd mentioned, a few new videos coming up. We have, I may actually film it today, excuse me, talking about reverse engineering key tags to increase revenue by about 4 or 5 times. There is a reason why at 17,000 subscribers, I make more money than a lot of people that have 100,000 subscribers. And I know this for a fact because I've spoken to some. And it's something that I accidentally fell into, but now I do it specifically. And I'm going to talk about that in a video. And it's something that I think you guys will find very intriguing. And it's something you can do right now to prepare for the future. So that is something. And then the second part of shooting a professional video from home with your camera phone or what have you, that is something we're going to talk about as well. You guys ever have any ideas for stuff, let me know. For the members out there, we're going to be doing Adobe Premiere editing tutorials in the next couple of weeks, Adobe Photoshop, thumbnail tutorials in the next couple of weeks. So a few things like that are starting as well. I'm still trying to find myself with Buy Me a Coffee and what exactly that channel is going to be, but specifically to members. One thing I am thinking of taking down are the interval timers, because they're starting to be a pain in the butt because people are finding they don't work for them, and they do work, but basically it's if you don't really know what you're doing with your editing, or you're using one of the free programs. I don't know every program that everyone uses. So it's hard for me sometimes to troubleshoot. I'm always available if people purchase this stuff to try and help them troubleshoot it. But sometimes it becomes so much work that I would rather just give them their money back than deal with it, because it's hard from a distance without seeing what's going on. So all right, with that, I think we'll call it a day. Thanks as always for you guys coming out for this. Appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great week and weekend. Hope you had a nice Easter weekend, and I'm going to go try and enjoy this nice Toronto weather. It's actually warm here. We're on lockdown again. I don't know where everybody's from, but we're on lockdown here again, and I'm hoping it's going to end soon. But in the meantime, I'll be here making videos each and every week. And as always, appreciate you guys coming out, supporting the channel, and supporting this community. And don't ever hesitate to reach out. My email, if you have questions, is hello@208inc.com. And yeah, reach out anytime with questions, and I will always do what I can. And my phone's ringing. And yeah, so you guys have a great afternoon, great day, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. And that is it for this week, guys. Take care, and I will talk to you soon. Till next week.